Have you ever wondered why employers ask you about your salary expectation when they are the ones looking to hire you? Think about it. They created a job, they approved the budget, they defined the rule. So why ask you what you want to be paid? The truth is, this question is not just about salary, it is a strategic question designed to test three things: whether you understand your market value, whether you are confident about your worth, and whether your expectations fit within your budget. And if you don't manage these conversations properly, two things can happen. You could either price yourself too low and get an update, or worse, price yourself out and get ruled out completely. In this video, I will show you how to answer the salary expectation question strategically depending on who you are speaking with. Because the way you respond should be different if you are speaking to an internal recruiter, an agency recruiter, or a business leader like a hiring manager, director, or CEO. By the end of this video, you will understand how to navigate these questions confidently, no matter who you are dealing with, and how to stay in control of the conversation. So, why employers ask this question? Before we discuss the answers, we need to understand something important. The motivation behind the question changes depending on who is asking it. Not every recruiter asks this question for the same reason. And once you understand their motivation, you can respond strategically instead of emotionally. Let's break it down. So, example, when you are speaking to an internal recruiters work inside the company. For example, they are the HR managers. Their job is simple: find the best possible candidate, but stay within the company's approved salary budget. They are usually given a salary range from the business. So, example, find someone between 12,000 to 16,000 Ghana cedis. So, when they ask you about your salary expectation, they are trying to figure out two things. Are you within their budget? If not, can they convince you to come down? This is why candidates must be strategic when responding. Instead of saying, I'm open to anything, or I'll accept whatever the company offers, you should position yourself or your answer professionally. Example, based on my research and discussions around similar roles in the market, professionals with my level of experience typically earn between 15,000 to 20,000 Ghana cedis. I would ideally be looking somewhere within that range. Notice what that does. It shows that you know your market value. You did your research. You are not just guessing. This makes you look informed and then confident. Let's look at the situation 2, where you are speaking to an agency recruiter, someone recruiting on behalf of a company. So agency recruiters operate very differently. Most of them are paid on commission, and that commission is usually a percentage of the candidate's salary. So this is what it means. The higher your salary, the more money they make. So in many cases, these agency recruiters may actually try to push for a higher salary on your behalf. However, there's a balance. If your salary expectations are too high, the clients or the company might reject the candidates completely. So agency recruiters often try to balance both sides. When dealing with agency recruiters, candidates must understand their value but remain realistic and strategic. So example response to give to such agency recruiter. So based on my experience and what I've seen in the market, for similar roles, I'm targeting something between 15,000 to 20,000 Ghana cedis. But of course, I'm open for discussion for full compensating package depending on the scope at hand. This keeps the conversation professional and flexible. Situation 3, where we are speaking directly to the decision maker, which is the hiring manager, the CEO. So now this is where it becomes very interesting. Sometimes the person asking about the salary expectation is not really the recruiter. It might be the hiring manager, the department director, the CEO, or the managing director. These people often have a broader view of the business, and surprisingly, they can sometimes be more flexible than recruiters. But they are also asking themselves one critical question: is this candidate worth the investment? Because ultimately, you are going to work directly with them. So, when discussing salary with decision makers, your answer must connect your compensation with the value you bring. Example: based on the responsibilities of the role and the value I believe I can bring to the team, I will be looking for something within the range of 15,000 to 20,000 Ghana cedis. So, this signals confidence, clarity, and professionalism. So there are some mistakes that candidates do, and then here we'll talk about some mistakes they must avoid when having such conversation. The first mistake candidates make is being too vague. Many candidates say things like, "I'm open to market rates, I'm flexible, whatever the company decides." This may sound polite, but it actually sends the wrong message. It can signal that you don't know your market value, you haven't done your research, or you are desperate for the job. A stronger response will be like, based on my experience in the current market for similar roles, I'm targeting between 15,000 and 20,000 Ghana cedis. Now you sound prepared and confident. So another mistake, so giving a personal number without justification. Just giving a random number without any justification. So another mistake candidates make is, "I want 18,000 Ghana cedis," just like that, with no explanation. Instead, your salary expectation should always be supported by a market research, industry benchmarks, your experience and skill level. Example: after researching similar roles and considering the value I will bring to the role, I will expect a range between 15,000 to 20,000 Ghana cedis. So now your answer sounds strategic and thoughtful. So mistake number 3, letting recruiters control the conversation. So recruiters sometimes use tactics during salary discussions. For example, they might say, "We have a lot of strong candidates for this role, so we want to make sure your expectations align with our budget." This statement is often designed to create psychological pressure. It subtly suggests there are other candidates who may accept less. When this happens, the worst thing you can do is panic. Instead, stay calm and composed. This is an example of response you can give to such environment. So, thank you for sharing that. However, based on my research and discussions around similar roles, the rate mentioned seems slightly lower than the market value. I will ideally be looking for something closer to 15,000 to 20,000 Ghana cedis. Would that completely be out of reach? This response is calm, professional, and confident, and it keeps the conversation balanced. Here is the bold move. So this is another bold move. Sometimes the gap between your expectation and the company's budget may be too wide. In that situation, it is perfectly acceptable to say, "If my expectations are completely outside the budget for this role, then perhaps this may not be the best fit at this time." but actually appreciate the conversation. This is a bold move, but it signals something powerful. It tells the recruiter, this candidate knows their value, and interestingly, this often causes recruiters to rethink about the offer. Because confident candidates are usually seen as high value professionals. In all these situations, remember one thing: salary negotiations are not battles, they are professional conversations. The goal is not to be aggressive, the goal is to remain calm, positive, confident, and then strategic. When you do this correctly, recruiters and employers begin to see you as someone who understands their work. And that is exactly the impression you want to create. My name is Edempe, a strategic HR and a career coach. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below. And if you like a personal guidance on how to handle such salary negotiations confidently, feel free to reach out for a one-on-one coaching session. I'll be happy to help you position yourself for better opportunities and better conversation. And remember, your skills have value. Make sure you negotiate them strategically. Thank you.